Hi class, this is Professor Smith welcoming you to my online statistics class for fall 2013. I'm going to select the course and just let you see some of the features from the student side of the course. When you first log into Alex for the first time, which I'm going to show you that in more detail a little bit later, you may have to run what's called the Java applet and also the Alex plugin. So now we're going to enter student view so you can see what Alex will look like on your side, and I can explain some of the features that I'll be utilizing for the course. The first thing that you'll be asked to do when you enter into Alex is learn how to put in the mathematical symbols using what's called the equation editor. In this particular case, they're asking us to use the keyboard to type 14. When I type 14, it wants us to use the clear button and then the undo. And that undo button is really going to be helpful. If we make a mistake, we can, if we clear it out and we didn't mean to, we can use that undo button. And the other thing we're going to be asked to do is to enter in fractions when we're asked to represent a proportion or probability, which we'll learn later on in the course. So I hit the fraction key and then I put my mouse inside the box and type a 2 using the keyboard. Take my mouse and click into that and type a 3. And then you can hit next. You can also type in that fraction by using the keyboard strictly by using 2 in the division bar and then 3. They ask us to fill in the region, so I select the fill icon, select the portion that they direct me to fill, and select this portion here. I did it right. It says now, correct, let's go to what's next. Next, they ask us to draw a histogram. So say click the mouse, hold it down, and then draw it, pull it up to 9. Click this hole, which is the top part of the histogram, and pull it up to 6. And then there's also a calculator in Alex, so you don't have to worry about purchasing a calculator. It's actually a WYSIWYG, which is what you see is what you get. Let me move over so you can see the calculator. And so it asks us to type in 31, and then a plus sign, and then 9, and then equals. This calculator does so much more. It will sort data, and it will organize data, and even grab data from the problems and populate the Alex calculator, which I'll be showing on future movies. And then, of course, there's a help button on Alex, and that help button, and I'll move the screen up just so you can see it, is here. And this help button is so helpful. So it may ask the question, how do I enter a number? And if you don't know how to enter that number, you can click here and it will show you that, how to enter the number. And then if you understand that very well, then it'll kind of test you on it. And if you want to see all the topics for which you can receive help, that's available as well. How do I enter a fraction? How do I expand an exponent? How do I use single response? How do I plot a point? And so the list goes on. Now that we finished with the answer editor, or I call it the equation editor, how we enter in problems in Alex, now we're going to go out to the dreaded thing, which is the assessment. And the assessment is basically Alex's tool of determining what you do and don't know. And so you'll be now asked to solve up to 25 problems in Introduction to Statistics based on this initial assessment. Alex will determine what you'll begin learning, and it asks you to read through the directions. You say, well, Donna, why do I have to take a test? First of all, let me help you calm down. It's not a test. It's basically making sure that you don't need to do problems that you already know how to do. And there's no partial credit, unfortunately, in the assessment, so you definitely want to make sure that you're taking your time and doing the problems as accurately as possible, paying attention. It's not a final, it's just trying to find out what you already know, so you don't waste time learning materials that you already know. Don't rush or work to exhaustion. If you get tired, just log out. When you log back in later, Alex will remember exactly what you've done and where you've left off. Use only the information provided on Alex. If you need a calculator, use only the one that's provided in Alex. Don't use your own personal calculator. And then enter only your final answer into Alex. But be sure to have a pencil and paper as you're working through the problems. That will ensure that you have the best possible results by not making mistakes and skipping steps. And you want to be sure that you're solving all the problems without assistance. Don't use any books or notes or ask a friend, because you'll mislead Alex into thinking you know things that you don't. And Alex will detect the problem sooner or later and correct it, but it's perhaps best that you not waste your time up front by getting assistance. Now, this is the initial assessment. On subsequent assessments, it's okay. And for me, I'm allowing you to use your binder that you're keeping all of your notes according to the chapters. So it's okay on later assessments to use, which you'll have more assessments later on through the course. So for example, here's the first problem. It says find the y-intercept of the line whose equation is given below. So the y-intercept, and when we have our equation written in this form, is the constant term 6.2, and negative 2.2 is the slope. So we would write in 6.2 for the y-intercept. However, if you did not know that, you would click I don't know. And then the next one says graph the line with slope 1 passing through negative 4, negative 5. So if you did not know how to do that problem, you would select the I don't know option. So this button here is what you would select, I don't know. But I'm going to go on and click a button that you can't see on the screen that allows me to keep going without having to do the assessment, just so you can see what will happen next. And so this screen is giving me an option to show you what your pie could possibly look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the option consistently with the way I've performed so far, or have little or no knowledge of statistics. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button. So after the assessment, you're going to be given this pie. And now Alex is going to march you through how to understand and read that pie. So I'm going to select here Continue. And it says here that this light part shows the part of the pie that you don't know, and the darker part shows what you do know. So your goal is to darken the pie. Your goal is then to learn all of the topics in this course and move your mouse to a pie slice with an arrow by the title. So you'll see here there's an arrow next to mathematical readiness. Sometimes you'll have an arrow next to another topic or portion of the pie, and you might have it in 2 or 3 portions of the pie. So when you select on mathematical readiness, then what will happen is you'll have a drop-down menu that shows you a problem type that you can work on. So let me adjust the screen capture program so that you can see what I see. So when I put my mouse over that arrow, see how that screen shows up? When I take my mouse away from the arrow, the screen's not there. And so now it's providing me with a drop-down menu of problem types that I can pick. So I click on this topic. And when I click on this topic, what happens is it gives me the problem. And now instead of having the option of I don't know and no, I have now an option of next and explain. So this one here is asking us to graph the line with slope negative 3/4 through the point negative 3, 2. So if I didn't know how to draw a line, I could click on here for quick help, but I do. And so there's an actual icon on the tool here for the equation editor.